was interesting for us.
So just as a reminder about tripping hazards on this ship, so we went to the Lido and there was a lady laid out on the floor surrounded by personnel, and then we heard over the speaker that they had to call a stretcher out for her. So please, again, just be careful when you're walking around. Try to pick up your feet if you can. Just be aware of your surroundings, because it's serious.
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody else has experienced this to this level. Maybe people on this ship, they just don't pick up their feet, but on this cruise. But if you've experienced it, let us know. I'll try to show you, like, before we get off, the little spots I'm talking about where there's like rises and an easy place to trip. But yeah, so like he said, just be careful, because every day this cruise somebody's been on the floor.
Yep. So, and this is other times people are just being able to get up, but it looks like this person was on the floor for a considerable amount of time, and yeah, like I said, they had to call a stretcher out for her. So I hope that person's okay. Yes. But like I said, please just be careful.
Okay, we are off the ship. Hopefully you guys can hear us coming through. Okay, yeah, we are off the ship, and we are to meet our tour operator at 7:30 local time, 9:30 ship time.
Yeah, there's a 2-hour difference, so
hopefully we can keep up with that today. But the island is absolutely beautiful. I think we've been here once before, and we did a tour before as well when we came last time, but this was a suggested tour, so we will see the difference and tell you which one we like best.
I'll be your girl boy.
82 degrees.
It is hot. It is so hot.
Thank you. 17.
But we will go ahead and show you what we're looking at here.
Too long, I ain't just chasing something real. Mother's words don't echo now, you're smothered by the thrill. Little too long, I ain't just chasing something real. Mother's words don't echo now, you're smothered by the thrill. Little too long, I ain't just chasing something real. Mother's words don't echo now, you're smothered by the thrill.
And if you need to buy Wi-Fi, you can buy it for $5. Unlimited Wi-Fi all day. Another beautiful port.
Absolutely.
I like the way this one is a little more spread out.
The official
store.
to be confused with the unofficial.
No, it is not. So you can rent a car as well if you want to rent a car for the day.
Also, that's probably where you get a passport stamp. Or we'll find
Probably so, yeah.
Find that out.
And then you can get cigars over here. So this port also has a free beach. You can walk it or you can take the sky lift for $13.99. No, thank you. We already have a tour. Thank you. Thank you. And then horseback riding, ATVs, zip line.
Up ahead.
Is there? Oh, it is a horse right there, isn't it? So yeah, I think we gotta walk up this hill.
Look at you and your nervous laughter.
No, because I'm trying to remember. Oh, or we could take the stairs. Which one you want to do? Stairs. But there's a horse if you want it, and ATVs.
Next time I have to take the horse. And it's bored. It's not doing anything.
Yeah. Zip lining.
Where?
There's a sign for zip lining right there. One day.
I don't know what you're going. The way you added over the. I don't think zipline maybe.
We were on a moving ship.
Yeah. So you wouldn't have had a problem doing the one in Labadee.
No, I wouldn't have had a problem doing that
It's
one.
going over water.
But it was a moving ship. I can't understand my logic. I'm just telling you what happens when you have a fear of heights. So it's just certain things that get you and certain things don't. I don't understand it. It's just what it is. Oh boy. And we're walking. And just in case you need a break, here's a seat. Looks good, doesn't it? And we're walking. Oh look. Hello, friend. Oh, he waved. Hey. So a lot of the independent tour operators, you have to meet them up this hill. So you can't, they can't come into the port.
It's the only Carnival sanctioned
Yeah, I think only the cruise ship sanctioned.
excursions.
Yeah,
Can't enter the port.
correct.
We're now leaving Mahogany Bay.
Welcome.
Hi.
How's it going? How's it
Good.
going?
How are you? Nice to meet
What's
you.
your name?
Siobhan.
Siobhan. And yours?
Brandon.
Brandon. Nice
Yes,
to meet
nice to meet
guys.
you.
First time here.
Second, but
Second, okay.
in, it's been about 4 or 5 years, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Royal Caribbean. I see that.
I told
How
him
does
no.
Carnival feel about that?
Nobody said.
Nobody said a word.
Right. Like, yeah, I had a lot of fun in Royal Caribbean, but here I am.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We're a
It's
team.
only very crazy driving out here. Nothing really crazy happens.
Okay.
There's no laws, there's no traffic lights, no stop signs, no speed limits. Y'all seen it. Only one road, right?
Only one road,
Can't
yeah.
get lost in this place. I'm sure y'all dealt with this before. I'm not quite sure, but here's a free souvenir. I'm not sure if y'all collect money
awesome.
We will now.
in different countries.
Oh, thank you.
Right, Mexicans got the pesos, right?
Right.
You guys got the dollars. Imagine
Right.
every currency were named the Washingtons, right?
Exactly.
And that's due to, you know, George Washington was founding father, first president, and he's in the number one bill, right, on the dollars.
Right.
Yep.
Well, here in our bill, Honduras is the only country in the world that named their currency after a revolutionary person.
Oh.
And that's after this Indian guy that's right here. He was part of the Lenca indigenous Hondurans. His name was Lempira. So they named their currency after him. So our currency names are Lempiras, right? Which 25 of these are equivalent to $1. Our largest Lempira bill is 500 Lempiras, which is exactly equivalent to $20.
Oh.
So that's like saying $100 to y'all, right?
Right, right.
They don't go a long way in the island. In mainland Honduras, they do. But yeah, so Lempira, right? So, which right here on the left, we have our independence of Honduras, which was in September 15th of 1821. This guy, he was famous to us because he was able to gather up the 6 indigenous civilizations of Honduras to fight against the Spanish that were trying to come and conquer these lands. So for 6 months, the Spanish were going back and forth, battling with this guy, trying to come and conquer Honduras, but they couldn't beat him. And then they tried to talk a peace treaty with them, but it was really a setup to assassinate him.
Wow.
So once they assassinated him, the Spanish took over Honduras, took all of our gold, everything, right? You know, you stole Columbus and his stories.
Yes.
So at that time, the Bay Islands, which is 3 islands, Roatan, Utila, and Guanaja, they were still in the midst of who they were going to belong to, because there's a lot of pirates here fighting for them. There's a lot of buccaneer pirates, which are the main pirates in the island. They came from they descended from the British. So thanks to Americans, actually, Honduras got the Bay Islands back to be part of our country, of our 18 departments. 18 states. Honduras has 18 states. So the Bay Islands, it's three islands, but they're all named as one state.
Okay.
And that's due to the U.S. was concerned of the British still being here, because in 1857 they signed that treaty, the Clayton-Butler Treaty, that said that no European nation could come and conquer any more of the Americas. And at that time, the British wanted, they were here, they weren't leaving, and they wanted to build the Nicaragua Canal. Meanwhile, the U.S. was interested in building the Panama Canal. So the Americans were concerned with the British still here, because the British helped the South with the Civil War. So they were like, no, we got to get them out of here. They are not going to make the Nicaraguan Canal and take over the Americas. We got to push them out of here.
Right.
So the U.S. helped Honduras, talked the Queen into returning these lands back to Honduras, since the Bay Islands are only 30 miles up north of the coast of mainland Honduras. So thanks to you Americans, these islands are back to being part of Honduras, right? And that was signed in 1861, which was the Whiker Cruise Treaty that was signed, and that was when the islands got their independence from the British. And as you've noticed, the islands are it's very diverse.
Yes.
You know, we've got like 4 different ethnicities and races here. You'd say we got Mayan Indios that are nowadays we call us mestizos, because we're very mixed. But we descend from like indigenous Mayans and things like that, right? And then there's the Creoles. The Creoles are a lot of these kids that speak a Creole kind of Caribbean English, right? Then there's the Garifunas. The Garifunas were African slaves that got freed in the Caribbean in the early 1700s, and they built their first community here in Roatan in 1791. And the Garifunas are very important to the Honduran culture, because they invented 2 things that were known for throughout all Latin America. They invented our general music, which is called punta. I'm not sure if y'all have heard punta before. but I'll play a song so y'all know what it's like.
Okay.
They also invented this drink called gifiti. Gifiti is made out of natural roots, seeds, and stems. It's fermentized for up to 3 months. It becomes like a natural liquor, like a natural alcoholic drink, and they take it culturally, kind of like a Russian take it vodka on a daily basis. It's known for like a lot of medicinal reasons, and it's a very strong aphrodisiac drink. The Garifan, as they rarely they speak English. They are very stuck to their own culture. They speak their own dialect, which is called Garifan as well, and they speak Spanish. Then the fourth kind of ethnicity of us Hondurans, it's are Caracoles. Caracoles are Hondurans that look Caucasian.
Okay.
They descend from the British that ended sticking around. Like several families ended sticking around, owning a lot of the land and governing a lot of the monopoly as of today still. And they nicknamed them caracoles because a caracol in English translates to a sea conch. And you know, a sea conch does not need a mate in order to get pregnant. They impregnate themselves, right? So these families used to be very strict who they would get married with back in the day, just to maintain their wealth in between them. So they nicknamed them caracoles, and nowadays they know that, they don't care, they're proud to be that. And that's all. It's a free for all nowadays. Yeah. But Honduras is very diverse within that. Talking about monopoly, for example, here we've got the Hyde family is one of the wealthiest families here in the island. They own 3 Eldon franchises of fast food restaurants from the U.S. that exist here, and that is Bojangles, Blimpie, Subs, Pizza Inn, and E-Coffee. There's no McDonald's, Pizza Hut, or nothing like that here. So it's a struggle when you want like a good burger, right? Yeah, literally. In the back of the bill, we got the Mayan ruins, which are located in mainland Honduras. In Copan, Ruinas Copan, that's what they're called. I'll play out this Honduran song so you'll know what it sounds like, what our Garifan culture plays music like. It's a lot of drums and trumpets. Very tropical, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got a little rhythm to it.
How much is gas here?
So the 2 most expensive things for living here are electricity and gasoline. Our gas currently costs about $5 a gallon, which we've been used to because it normally ranges to between 4 to 5.
Okay.
It hasn't really changed much, even though with all the world crisis that's going on with Ukraine and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Our electricity costs 50 cents of $1 a kilowatt.
Wow.
And our electricity currently is made from gas, so that's also why it's made so expensive. They're currently building a lot of solar panels plants, but doesn't mean that they're gonna bring down our price in electricity. They're just going more resourceful, more green. Thanks to a billionaire from Texas, his name Kelsey Warren. He brought electricity to the island 28 years ago. So that's why the island's not so developed, or it's getting a lot of development lately, which from the port to this side, it's getting developed. From the port to the other side, it's all virgin. There's nothing going on out there. There's a lot of construction going on, things like that, and people are just finding out about the island. And that's due to, it being just having this, the resources of electricity. 28 years ago, there was no such thing as tourism. The main source of income here was industrial fishing, where the islander life would end super early. People would go to sleep early and wake up 3, 4 in the morning and go deep sea fishing for crabs, lobster, all of that, right? Shrimp. And only the wealthy had generators, so they were able to stay up later or whatever at home. And of course, since electricity is so expensive, air conditioning is like a luxury here, right? You only use it when you need it. So here, this is like a very kind of like a poor little sector of the island. It's called Spanish Sound because it's very rare to see a dark-skinned Honduran live here. Normally it's Hondurans that have migrated from mainland Honduras, and they do a lot of the hard labor like construction, carpenter, mechanic work, and they don't get paid more than $50 a day. When you have a family, it's not a lot to live with. Here in Roatan. Roatan is the most expensive place to live in all of Honduras. But they see it as a security reason because all of our schools are bilingual, public or private, so their kids are their future. Their kids are learning English, and they're also not being raised around a gang affiliated environment.
Right.
Because mainland Honduras has all these favelas and like all these poor neighborhoods where gangs are like what control there. So they have like a little convenience store where you got all this propaganda and stuff around. They're called pulperias, but they're like little bodegas or convenience stores where you can come and like shop for a gallon of water or a soda or a gallon of milk or a bag of beans or some eggs to be able to finish up your dinner or whatever, right?
Right.
So yeah, they don't have to also deal with like the extortion that gangs require all these other business owners to pay on a monthly basis. So they see it as a security reason to live here, you know, that they're living safely in a good environment, even though that they're living this poorly and whatnot.
Right.
They don't mind it. This is Roatan's kind of like, let's say, like the Hawaii to Americans, right?
Right.
Because for Americans to fly to Hawaii is probably the most expensive place to fly to, right? And same thing for people in Honduras. The average wage salary for someone in mainland Honduras is $500 a month, and a plane ticket from the capital to here is $250.
Oh wow.
So if you've got a family of 4, it's not that easy to say we're all going to Roatan. It's mostly just the prestigious families that get the chance to come out here. And it's also, when it comes to immigration, it's not that easy because you have to be bilingual in order to have a decent job, and you have to be good with your money currency because dollars are accepted in every single corner all over this island. So we don't have coins, but let's say you go to a gas station, you buy a bottle of water, and it'll be 13 lempiras, which is like 50 cents of a dollar, right? And you pay with the dollar, you're gonna get the change in lempiras, like the exchange. Right. So you can't be like using a calculator and figure out what the exchange is. People here just know what it is due to the practice of using it every day. So that's what makes kind of migration for people from mainland to here to not be so easy. Have y'all been up to this point before? Y'all probably were brought here last time. I'm not quite sure.
I think so, yeah.
So y'all were able to take a picture with the cushion in the background, right?
Yes.
Today we have the Norwegian breakaway here.
They followed us.
Yeah, they were with us in was it Cozumel or Costa Maya too? Yeah.
Would you like to get out here for a picture?
Sure.
Of course, yeah. There we go, new postcard picture right here. Plates come with plantain chips, right? Or like, you know, bananas. Most of our snacks are made also out of plantain chips, different flavors and things like that, right?
Yes.
And then we've got a soda that's made out of banana, which is it's rare. It's not really found in North America, which a lot of people like to come and try. Maybe eventually throughout the road, yeah, we'll like to stop by and try something like that. Or even in the beach, I'm sure they should have it. We've got green mangoes too here that they're not found in North America, which were one of my biggest withdrawals. When I was living over there, I wanted green mangoes all the time.
You could never find it.
All this Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah, that's a hard one to get over.
yeah. Chick-fil-A and Whataburger. Oh my God.
How long did you live in the mainland?
Where y'all visiting from?
So we're from North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yes.
Right. North Carolina is like the 3rd place in the U.S. that has the most endurance.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I work with at least one, I know.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
New Orleans is first, and then Houston, Texas has a lot of endurance. But New Orleans it's very, very funny because they got communities of Honduras. They got Honduran restaurants everywhere and things like that. And their area code is 504.
Yeah.
And our area code in Honduras is 504
Oh
too.
wow.
So it's like, and they've got like the most Honduran communities and everything over there. Like, they got more Hondurans than Mexicans in New Orleans. You know?
Oh wow.
I was raised in Dallas, Texas, and I was like the only Honduran in my like graduating class. Once upon a time, well, long time ago. Yeah. This place itself, we just got rid. We've got 2 seasons here, you would say. We got this, and then we got rainy season, right? Currently, we're not really gonna see much more rain. We get scattered showers, you know, precipitation, condensation is currently always happening, and the island's only about 4 to 6 miles wide, so clouds are just coming by and cruising by. They can last up to 15 minutes, and they'll just shower the island for a bit, and then they'll be gone.
Oh wow.
Sometimes you can expect to have showers up to 4 times a day, right? Or like, it'll be like early in the morning, 5 a.m. and it'll be raining a bit. Then it'll stop. Then 9 a.m. it'll rain more, and then the sun will come out for another couple hours.
Wow.
Then it'll rain a little bit more for a couple minutes, then sun again for more hours, and it'll be constant like that. That's why it's so green and so beautiful all
Yes.
around. We just get a bunch of rain all year around, but our rainy season is from September to December technically. It's September to November, and that's obviously hurricane season as well. During those times, like November, almost rains almost every day of the month, and yeah, that's during that time. We only got one place on the island that gets that's under sea level that gets flooded, which I was taking y'all by.
Okay.
Here, this is one of our like little mini Walmarts I was telling y'all, right?
Yeah.
All the supermarket looks like a Sam's Club.
Yeah.
Where almost everything's imported from the U.S. in those stores. Then here to the left, we got our local Honduran grocery stores. There's 3 of them, and everything here is imported from mainland Honduras. The island doesn't have enough land for crop or cattle, which that's also another thing. How tourism is our main source of income, which was also what makes the island living a little bit more expensive than anywhere else, right? For example, like a lime here, a single lime will cost you 5 to 8 lempiras, which is like $0.25, right? And then a pound of limes in mainland Honduras will cost you like 50 cents of a dollar. So it's a huge difference in prices, things like that. Like for example, a national beer will cost you 50 cents of a dollar in mainland Honduras. Here, exactly $1. Things like that. Everything's like up almost half. Yeah, in certain ways. So right now, this is kind of like entering. This is like our downtown. It's called Coxswain Hole, named after our buccaneer pirate called John Coxswain from the British that was out here. He was rebellious, didn't want to leave, and until the U.S. came and was like, "You got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. Y'all are a threat." So around here, you can imagine seeing like the oldest homes, oldest establishments, things like that, right? Kids currently, how they do school here, they rotate and use the same classrooms. So like elementary school kids will go in like early in the morning from like 6 a.m. to like 10 a.m. Then middle schoolers will go from like 10 to 2, and then high schoolers go in technically till the nighttime. There's no such thing as like, you know, like in the U.S. we'll have electives, right? Like art class, choir, things like that, right?
Yes.
Here's just, you know, math, reading, science, and history, right? And that's it. Here, this orange little thing building right here, which has like a little neighborhood inside with their homes, is actually our public hospital of the island.
Okay.
Founded in 1991. Before then, kids were just born like in their homes and things like that, or if you had enough money, you'd be going to mainland and having your child born in a hospital over there.
So how did the island fare during COVID?
was interesting for us. I feel like myself and several of my friends and stuff like that, we all got sick in January, like, because we closed down the island in March, just like, no, in May, just like the U.S. closed. Was it in May or March?
I think ours was in March.
March, yeah. So we closed down in March because we had the last vessel here that came from the U.S. and when it left, we closed down because then the U.S. was kind of waiting for it, also just to close it and close ports and all of that, right? So yeah, in March we closed down, and then for 6 months after that, we didn't have not one single case of COVID in the island.
Really?
Yeah, for 6 months. And during that time, all of the dive shops, they donated their boats to the marine park, and they filled them up with military, and they were circulating the island all day long and night long, making sure no one was trying to sneak in, because there was people trying to come in from Belize, from Grand Cayman, from Jamaica, from mainland Honduras, because they knew that on the news it would show that here we had 0 cases. Meanwhile, the rest of the departments in Honduras, they were spiking up with cases, and everywhere else as well. So people are trying to escape that zombie apocalypse, you know, and they're like trying to come in here because they knew that we were safe, but it wasn't that easy. So eventually corruption happened and people got smuggled in the east end of the island, and then we got our first case of COVID.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully we didn't our numbers didn't get crazy. We didn't reach over 71 cases of COVID here in the island, because if we had over 100, we would have literally collapsed. Like, our healthcare system does not have the resources to maintain over 100 persons incubated and things like that. So that was gonna be an issue.
Yeah. Wow.
And we're here waiting on this bus for no reason.
So at the end of the day, the government got smart.
Yeah.
And shut everything down, and there was not a lot of debate about it. You either do it or you don't.
Exactly. And here we were very strict when it came to curfews and things like that. So like, no one was able. You were only able to drive out your car wherever you live at. You were only able to drive out once a week, and that's depending on the last digit on your ID. So on Mondays it'll be 1 and 2, Tuesday it'll be 3 and 4, 5 and 6. This is our old city hall.
Okay.
I'll show you the new one later.
Okay.
So my number was 9, so 9 and 0 was from Friday. So on Fridays I was able to go to the bank, go to the grocery store, do whatever, right? Other than that, during the weekends nobody was allowed to drive. And during the week, if you're driving on a day that's not yours and you get pulled over on a checkpoint and it's not your day, your car will be like confiscated, you would get a fine, and you'd be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, so it was very strict within that. And then our curfew was at 6 p.m. So restaurants would close or the only restaurants that were operating, which were very few, they would close down at 5 p.m. so their workers would be able to get home. And that means by 5 everyone was pretty much getting home. If you're out after 6 and there's cops everywhere, you're definitely gonna be in trouble. Like, you were going to jail and things like that.
Wow.
For 24 hours and getting a fine.
That's smart to be honest.
I mean,
So it kept a lot of people like inside their homes and just, you know, not being out, and it was pretty much people had to walk everywhere. If you wanted to go to the beach, you have to walk in. You have to walk there, you know. If you didn't live near the beach, and you live like inside the city or whatever, you'd be just in this environment.
right.
I was fortunate enough that I was walking distance to like the best beaches here in the island.
Yeah.
So my friends would go and connect like coconuts and cashews and mangoes and all kinds of fruits to like survive throughout it, because we all lost our jobs.
Right.
Eventually, 6 months into it, I ended getting like a job in a call center from mainland Honduras, and was just working online until flights started coming back in, and then I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll make it off with the flights rather than working for $500 a month.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So here, this is like our flea market here right now. You know, island life starts off very late. Right now it's very early for us. You know, you guys arrived here at 5 a.m., which is your ship time is 2 hours ahead of ours.
Right.
So 5 a.m. for us is like, oh my god, y'all are crazy. You know. Everything's still shut down. Like these buses here are like the transportation buses for the public transportation buses that take you from town to town. Here people will come and find like their meats, their vegetables, things like that.
Also, for the second consecutive morning, there's just been a lot of banging when we dock. I've never personally experienced that, but again, I'm usually asleep, so
I hear it, but I'm up, so or it wakes me up. I think the closer it gets to morning, especially if I know we have something to do, I'm more aware of the time to wake up. So
alright, this is a good spot.
thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Siobhan.
And this is Brandon.
And we are...
Parkersonthego.
Yeah.